On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oakes, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oakes.
I'm pretty certain that I just kind of look and act and feel a little smarter when my wife is in here with me. Like, it's like she just talks so much better and she's so smart. Like, it like makes me looks like make people maybe think, well, he is probably smart. I mean, probably. You don't land that for nothing, right?
You know, I heard once that the best kinds of relationships are people who bring out the best in each other.
Yeah.
So if you feel smarter and wiser and better for it,
I
guess it's all working out, right?
Yeah,
That's what that means.
We got my beautiful wife, Jenny, in the studio again. What's up,
Hi, everybody. I love coming into the podcast. So
and
thank
Zach
you for having
and
me.
Matt.
Yes.
Hello.
Matt in the booth.
Yeah, so figured I could con you into coming back again.
You can.
Look, every time you come on, people send emails or write something on it all the time going, you need to have her on more. They all love you.
Oh, that's sweet. And I've gotten a lot of direct messages on Instagram, my favorite social media.
Yes.
From people who had watched my shows over the years and said, oh, we started watching Heath's or listening to Heath's podcast and now they are subscribed and do it on the regular. And by the way, if you are one of those people, do a screenshot if you can and send it to Heath or send it to me. It's just kind of fun to see who we're connecting with.
Yeah. That way we post it on the stories. So, well, Jenny's really good about it. I'm not good at that stuff yet.
I love some social media.
I'm trying to, and I've taken my strides. I'm making it 10% better, right? I'm getting there.
You are. Follow Heath on Instagram at.
Yeah, I'm getting
What's
there.
your handle?
Ignorance on Fire.
Yeah.
Ignorance on Fire on Instagram? I'm going to have to give you a follow.
Yeah,
I think I'm followed.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Ignorance on Fire on Instagram.
I love it.
We got Maserati little cars and babies going around everywhere.
Cars.
Baby cars, by the way, is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Speaking of Instagram, I spied a photo the other day of a certain bookcase you guys have full of kids' books.
Yeah.
And it's a small bookcase, but considering the size of the individual who's using it, there's a lot of books in there.
That's
you guys
one.
came correct.
That's one of them.
Yes, we did.
Thank you. Have more than one?
Well, my coworkers, when I worked at Fox, did a shower for us, and it was an all-book shower. Literacy
did for my work
is
too.
my biggest. It's like my platform, my passion, if everybody can learn how to read. I just think it's just your ticket.
Yeah.
It's your key to everything, so it's really important to me. And Heath's coworkers did the same thing, so both of our coworkers know that we're
that is wild.
that is really important to us.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
I made a bookcase, a handmade bookcase for her too.
I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah,
so that's one of them on the wall and then one of them on the ground with it all too. We got tons of books.
She actually doesn't have very many toys.
And all she does is really eat the books right now because getting her to sit still is tough. I don't know where she gets that from at all.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know where she gets that energy.
Yeah, she should be calm, laid back, sleeping all day, just like her mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine. Well, we got a headline for our first segment. Yeah, we're talking about...
Can we get Broughton to read it?
It's a good question. Right. Do we have a baby sounder
She'll
can
be
play?
eating the microphone.
Matt sent this over. This is a submission from the control room, and I'm going to read it, and then Matt, you had a take on it, so here it is. The Philadelphia Eagles had a tweet go out a couple Fridays ago from ESPN's Field Yates. It's very simple, and as Heath informed me, because I'm not up on the sports, this is not that abnormal, but it seems like a sensational headline, so I wanted to break it down. The Eagles wide receiver Mike Wallace, who's listed on their roster at 200 pounds, will earn a massive $585,000 incentive if he weighs less than 250 pounds on Monday when boot camp for their offseason program begins. He said, easy money. Matt, what do you got for here? Because this is sensational. It certainly is
sensational, and I guess when you read deeper into it, you realize he's not getting a $500,000 bonus, but they're just making up the rest of his salary, saying we're going to withhold $500,000. I guess is probably the more accurate headline if you don't weigh 250.
Right.
But still, I mean, not to be insulting about this, but you're a pro football player. the one thing you have to do is stay in shape and play football. So to me, it's like, why do they need extra incentives to get you to go to the gym, eat right, practice, all these things like that? Like, that should be something that you're driven to do anyway.
Sure.
Through just being paid to play in the NFL, I would think.
And I don't know how getting on the roster goes, but if you're on the roster at 200, that gives you a 50-pound window to stay in. Yeah, and you get $500,000. So first, you're already on the border? Really? You have a week to get under 250 or you don't make the money? What happened?
Well, that was the other thing.
Where'd those 50
He's a
pounds
week
come
away,
from?
and he still got to shed, or he still had to. This was a week ago, but he still had to shed a few pounds. When you're a week away, like, don't cut it that close, bro. Just do it.
So what do you think?
Well, my thing is, I go back. Well, and here's what a lot of companies try to do. A lot of companies will try to change their incentive program all the time for employees to get them to do what they want done, right? Mm-hmm. And I always say, as a company, this is how the number one sign you can know you're in trouble. When you have to change incentives to get people to react, you're in trouble. Because you should be doing a great enough job at building your culture, at being a leader, to inspiring people to have the why out there so much that people want to do it for themselves. Like if it's like that old saying when you talk about raising kids. If you tell them over and over, you can't drink, you can't go out anywhere, you can't do anything wrong, I'm locking you in the house forever, and they go to college and the kid goes crazy, right? Because you could say so because you're the parent then. But you never took the time. They said, why is that? And you go, because I said so. You never took the time to explain why for them to make decisions on their own, so when they're out of your hands, that they do it because they want to. There are short-term fixes, which is because I said so, because of incentives. The real long-term fix, which is harder, longer, and takes more time, is truly investing in making sure everybody understands the why and everybody gets it and everybody can understand why, and helping them, inspire them to want to do it for themselves, not for you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. Definitely. So it's almost like if he was thinking, well, I want my team to go to the Super Bowl. That's what I want. And I know in order to do that, I need to be in my best shape. Then they might not have to put out that requirement because he would come ready to play every season.
Yeah, I would never invest in him long term. I would never give him a long term guaranteed deal, ever, because that means you have to have a $500,000 tick in there to make you stay under 250 pounds as a receiver.
Right.
He doesn't get it himself. He doesn't have the drive. So I would not give him that deal. I would also be wondering, as a coach, taking it on myself and stuff and realizing I shouldn't, I gotta inspire him enough to want to do it for himself. And you got to do that as kids, with your kids. I see those parents that go, just because I said so. It's like you're not setting them up for that long term. Your kids are going to have to want to do that on their own, or not do that, or make that decision, or not make that decision on your own. Not just because you said so, because they're going to want to do it when they're out.
Well, interesting, not to take it from sports to my favorite topic, literacy, but that was something that my parents always said, because they hadn't gone to college, but they did say, if you can read, this is why you want to study these words and understand the difference between there, and there, because if you can effectively communicate, you can go so far. Without that, you're kind of stuck within your bubble of what you already know. You can't expand. You can't learn new topics. You can't learn about science without knowing the basics of, reading and such. And that was always really explained to me well, I guess. And so I had my why. They didn't have to say, okay, you have to get your homework done. Or there was never a, you have to have a 4.0 or all A's or anything like that. It was like more so I want to have my ticket out. And so
they didn't put out those deals. If you don't have all these and you're not doing this, because you got to do what's harder and longer, which is really sitting down and explaining. I was the kid who asked why for everything.
Everybody loves that kid.
I was such the
that
annoying.
Kid's super annoying.
I was so annoying. I was like, why? Why? But it was because I wanted. Why?
Sure.
Colonial life, right? Yeah. I love when you do it. Do the colonial.
Colonial laugh, right?
That's what she always says. I say it.
When we were first dating, I would respond to, if he said right, I would be like, right, RAY-HT, right?
HT. The McConaughey, right?
So the thing is that it's a longer road to, and a leader, you have to actually care enough about people to get in deep enough to help inspire everybody's inner something. Like what I believe a good leader does is they make people do more than they thought they would do because you inspire them to do so. And so, but in a lot of those football worlds and military style worlds and all that, it's just because I say so, it's to do as I'm told. And look, that'll happen while you're there, but when you're not there, it's not going to. So in this case, while he's there in the season doing the game, he's going to be fine. But when he's in off season, because he's not truly inspired to make sure he does it, then he's eating McDonald's and not working out, and he gets a lot of weight,
I can't imagine this is the case, but it seems like no one has ever taught him the inherent value of being in your best shape to play football.
Well,
and I don't know if he's just got a lot of natural ability and he's been able to coast through whatever, but at some point he should have learned, if I stay in prime shape, then I can do better for not just my team, but also for myself.
Yep.
I could earn a better contract.
But
I could
Matt,
go to a better team.
Matt, he's had a God-given talent of playing football since he was young. He's been the best probably in high school, best in college. He was, he's been everywhere, right? But he's never been 30 years old either.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? He never had to do it because he wasn't 30.
Right.
And he got up to 30 years old, and it's like, okay. I got to work out now. I got to try a little harder, right? Tom Brady actually got to eat a lot better and be 10 times more when you're 40-something years old trying to play.
I wanted to say, for any second shot listeners out there who are wise to this and are thinking, well, maybe he put on 50 pounds of muscle. Maybe he just beefed up. He's a wide receiver. He has to be able to run fast. That's why he's got to be underweight. That's the whole thing. So I don't think that's really a concern here if anybody's thinking that.
What I want to do is I want you to think about it. If you're raising your kids with a message of because I said so or these strict deals and it's just because, you're going to set themselves up for not truly wanting it for themselves. And anytime you take people in your work that you work with or anything, that if you can inspire others to want something for themselves, then you're never going to have to be a micromanager. You're never going to have to be on top of your kid every day because they want it for themselves and they'll make their own decisions. And so be careful if you're ever getting in any of those other weird modes where you're finding yourself having to put carrots out to make people do something. Work harder to inspire them to want it for themselves. And I hope that maybe that hits some listener today that can help inspire others to want to do that as well and be that person. So we'll be back in a minute on the second segment of Second Shot.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
Talking a little bit about a little California love. You know what I mean?
Gosh.
I'm rapping it
You
out.
guys.
I'm rapping it out hardcore
You're
today.
not.
So just so in case anybody that knows that we are on YouTube, it's always on video on YouTube. You can watch the whole podcast as well. And they noticed today I have my Tupac socks on that are legit Tupac. You can go onto YouTube right now, and we've got the picture up.
Look at those.
I mean, okay,
It
you
literally
guys,
has
this
a
is not just-
bandana.
They have a bandana.
My socks have a bandana on of Tupac over his band. Like, it's like legit. They're
and
awesome.
his face is such an accurate portrayal.
It's got the nose right.
Like, it looks just
You got to go
like
to YouTube
him.
right now and go check this out.
He's got a chain.
Where'd you get those, babe?
I can't remember.
I think it was in your sock of the month
I
club.
don't know. I always get people always give
I
me
think
cool
your
socks.
team got them for you, maybe.
Yeah. No, they actually did. My team did give me the
Your
Tupac
team
socks.
gives you really
Tupac
nice
socks.
gifts.
Yeah.
Minus
And
the Tupac
bandana
socks.
is included on the. It's like
Oh, yeah,
sewn into the
it's
stock.
sewed in the
You
stock.
didn't add that yourself.
No, yeah,
But we
that
got a good
would be-
accessory.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Both
But no,
socks.
the bandana come on the socks.
Right.
Can't
And
tell
it's-
me those socks are not
It's not
legit.
like a clip-on. That's on there.
That's on.
Yeah.
They're sewn in.
I mean,
Like, those are legit socks. Like, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about tucking my pants into my socks for the rest of the day,
Yeah.
so everybody sees my
you
socks.
should not.
show
Look at
those
those
off.
shoes, too.
Seriously.
Did I get you those?
Yeah, you did. Those
They're
came
looking-
from you.
They're looking nice.
Look at that carpet too. What a nice.
Nothing screams business casual like tucking your matching suit into your Tupac socks.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then I start
And then he's
speaking
like,
in the most
and you guys
redneck,
should
the
take me
most
seriously.
redneck accent in the world starts coming out of the man's mouth with his Tupac socks on.
It's too good not to share on the show. Tupac socks. Who has? I mean, never once have I seen those in my life.
Yeah, so
And
you
I've
gotta
seen
go
some
to
wacky
YouTube and
things.
check this out. You're gonna laugh. They're pretty good.
That
I
is
love them.
really cool.
What we got, Zach?
Yes, our other headline for today. Wyoming quarterback Josh Allen apologizes for offensive tweets on day of NFL draft. Josh Allen, the Wyoming quarterback who could potentially be the number 1 pick of the NFL draft,
Which we know by
apologized.
now.
Do we?
Yeah, because
I'm not a sport.
the
sport
draft the
man.
draft will have happened by now.
Well, by the time this episode
Yeah.
comes out.
The more we talk about sports in the show, the more I gotta buckle down and like do my homework. I start watching games
I
and,
know.
and going to things and following. Anyway, Josh Allen, the Wyoming quarterback who could potentially be the number 1 pick of the NFL draft, apologized early last Thursday for offensive tweets that he wrote when he was in high school, but resurfaced Wednesday night. Some Josh Allen fans got on Twitter and they just kept scrolling till they found stuff that made him angry. And then they posted them and said, look at these things he said back before he was anybody really.
Yeah.
The tweets aren't around anymore. You can't go find them. What's in the tweets is irrelevant. What's interesting here is he apologized.
Yeah.
And a lot of people cried foul. They
Yeah.
said it wasn't legit. That wasn't a real apology. They didn't believe him.
Well, and I think that this happens a lot with celebrities that are getting caught with something or whatever. People make apologies. Or how many times as a parent you make your son apologize to your daughter for hitting her and he's like sorry and walks off, right? You know, it's like you know what I
like
mean,
you're
really
familiar
don't
with
want
that,
to.
yeah.
They really don't want to, they're just made to, right? What I thought about here and which I thought was perfect is because I used to think this was a really stupid question. I used to think this was really stupid to ask, well, how do you come off as authentic? And I used to go, well, be just an honest person. Like, be authentic. Be a real
Just be
person.
you, yeah.
You know, but what I realized over the years is I know some people that are really good, authentic people that when they stand up, when they meet people for the first time, they kind of come off as a different, that not a lot of people think they're being genuine, right? Or that if they're on camera or do anything, because in today's world, everybody has a camera. You know, where back in the day when you started off in the news, nobody could be in the media except for the people that were there. Now everybody has their own media show, so a lot of people look and always ask, how do I come off more authentic on camera or come off authentic in person when I'm speaking to people or talking about, you go, and I used to think it was simple, just be honest, but I know people now that are not, and I know they just don't come off that way. And I figured since we have, the difference of good news anchors, in my opinion, and ones that don't, are the ones that people feel like they're part of their family. Like they have them on their TV in the morning watching, and they go, I know that person, right? That comes off as authentic. I know them. And that's where you've always been really great at, and that's where people have always connected with you. And why you've shot to the top of your career like you have is because people have always felt like they know you. So I figured it'd be a good time to really get, how is it if you got some of these people, and I think the people that are actually honest people, they're just, maybe they're nervous or whatever, and they can never really come out
It's
in a way
hard.
to be authentic. So how does somebody, if they're a really honest, genuine person, but every time they speak or talk to people or do anything on camera or just do something in person that they don't come off that way, how
Right.
can they change that?
So this is actually really, really hard for most people.
Yeah.
I have done a fair amount of media coaching with high-level business owners and executives and leaders who really struggle to have their natural, authentic thoughts translate in a natural and authentic way on camera.
I mean, not just camera, but in person too,
In
right? Like
person
talking
as
with
well,
their team or trying to
talking
talk
with
to
the
people.
team, or trying to, we were talking
Rally your
earlier
friends.
about, getting people around you and getting them to believe in your cause and
Yes.
that sort of thing. So, first of all, you have to take yourself out of the equation. So, people get nervous about, oh, am I going to say an or am I going to flub up a little bit? People get really nervous about that, and you have to forget about that because natural conversation has that, and authenticity, a natural authentic conversation is going to have pauses, it's going to have it's going to have like little word mistakes, or for example, people, oh, don't use the word like, I just said the word like, but that's how I speak.
That's real.
So that's me, that's how it is. If I was never saying it, you would sense that little bit of just like, I don't know if she's really being herself. And those little things that you try to sort of coach yourself to perfection is what takes away the sincerity in your voice and in your persona. The other thing too is you can't fake it. When you try to like up-level yourself to this perfect persona, you can't fake that.
Yeah.
And so sooner or later, people are going to kind of like worm through it and be like, I don't know if I believe them. And even if it's just because you're nervous or because you're trying to come across a certain way, it can come across as being not genuine. So, for example, in this person's case, with regard to the apology, it's sort of a situation where you've got to go.
He's being told to apologize.
Right.
Whether we don't know for sure if he
so
really,
we don't know if he really is.
if he really means it or not.
But let's say you are. Let's
Yeah.
say, you mean it, you want to apologize, but you're kind of like, wow, this is on a kind of a big stage, and everybody is waiting, to hear what you're going to say. You have to take everybody else out of the equation. It's you and your best friend, or you pretend it's you and your spouse, you and your mom, whoever you think you could really be yourself with and really apologize to. What would you say in that apology?
Well, you know what?
That's what's going to work with the masses as well. These fake produced, PR'd, scripted things.
The reality
right
TV that's
it.
not really reality TV.
Yes, people see right through that, and they know.
It's always been interesting. This has never been a good one for me to answer because I've always been so
you're
that I've never
easy for
thought there was like I've always to a fault to
you don't worry about saying things incorrectly.
Yes, I don't at all, and it's never bothered me.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, now what to the fault of it all though became that a lot of people think I'm dumb, and over the years thought I was just an idiot, right? I mean that's what it comes off because I am, I don't hide who I am, and I am, but I've never had a lack of trust with people because I am just me. I tell the truth. I tell how I am, what's my faults, what not, and it's never been, I guess, because I've never thought much about everything else. But that's what people do is they start trying to perfect themselves so much. Like I tried to do the
one time you scripted out a speech.
The worst speech I ever given was when I tried to script it out. Mm-hmm. When I tried to actually put down do what everybody says you got to do is a great speech is giving great speeches is scripted out.
Yeah.
Worst speech I ever did.
Real quick, for any potential speechwriters, not to say you don't think about your speeches before you do them. You
Yeah.
just didn't physically write it down.
Correct.
You do plan a speech.
Yes,
So here's
it's
what I-
definitely
here-
planned
let's
out.
be clear.
And it's bullet pointed.
Yeah, so here's what I
Yeah,
changed.
right.
I thought that, it was all everything there, but what I did,
Yeah.
how I found me was, I had 3 parts of this speech I was doing, for instance, right? I put 3 note cards. There's 3 bullet points. 3 bullet points with one line under each bullet point on there. That was it. Everything else I knew I'd roll with. Mm-hmm. But I just needed that one line to trigger what I was going to talk about or think about. But when I tried to really script it out and all, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was not good for me. So me
I
rolling
think
with
can
it is
work
that
for
type
some
of thing.
people. Yeah, you just kind of have to know yourself and your
But you
voice
got to
and
try
it's gonna
both.
work.
That's why I'm glad I tried both because I wanted to figure out if maybe I was not giving what I could because everybody talked about having it scripted out. So I'm going to try it, right? I want to make sure I'm not missing, maybe that will grab me and I'll become better. But it didn't. But I know that.
The other thing that you're good about with regard to authenticity and things that people can be sort of, work on, and this goes for friendships and business relationships and also speaking publicly, is the aspect of vulnerability. Mm-hmm. And this is, I really struggle with this too, because you do kind of think you want to present a certain image and such.
Because you've always been in the limelight too.
Yeah.
You've always been in the media and everything else. So
right. So the aspect of vulnerability puts everybody else at ease, and it kind of allows you, once you've sort of revealed a little thing, whether it's, gosh, I have always struggled with public speaking, but here I am speaking in front of you. Everyone's kind of cheering you on. Everyone's like, oh man, we really want, she opened up to us about this and we really want to cheer her on. Or, gosh, this is it. English is my second language, so I need to let you all know that I came from Mexico and I'm trying to do this for you and I want to communicate with you. It puts you at ease and puts everybody else at ease. That's sort of like a little trick, I guess, with regard to opening up with friendships, with any kind of connection, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable is giving out a little bit of a tidbit of something.
Kick anything,
Like
whether it's a
a
speech, whether it's
little-
talking to a friend, whether it's doing anything. Kick off
Yeah.
something. Start it off with something that you're really not good at, or something that's
Well,
not
then people
doesn't
can
show you in a good light.
relate.
Yeah.
People can relate too, because we all have insecurities and we all have things that really make us authentically us. And when they hear you kind of put yourself on the same level as them with, sort of this anecdotal evidence of you being a regular person, it levels the playing field a little bit too.
So it would be your wrap. Can you give a little wrap up of what you would say the most important points of the authentic work?
Yeah. So first of all, allow yourself to be vulnerable. Second of all, do not try to perfect your speech. Don't try to perfect your language. Just speak as you normally would. And
Third is act like you're talking maybe to
third
whoever you're
component
comfortable.
is talk to your friend, your mom, your dog, whoever you're comfortable talking to. Act like you're just talking directly to them as opposed to a whole group of people.
And I've heard you say this too, which is it's just remember it's for them, not for you.
Yes, that's actually probably the biggest one. Is
Yeah.
It's not about you. You have to take yourself out of the
I've
equation.
heard you say that before. That's what I was waiting for you to say.
I know, you're right. That's why you were kind of prompting
Yeah.
me, but I forgot about that. It's the reason people get nervous in a situation like a big apology or like a big public thing or a big, meeting is because you make it all about you and your performance and what do I look like and what do I sound like? And it's like, no, you're just trying to get the message across. Take yourself completely out of it.
It's for them.
What you look like, you're just trying to convey the information. So say you are a manager and you're trying to teach your employees this new program and don't fancy yourself a public speaker, but you do need to get the information out about the program, then just do the information about the program.
Maybe you just want to do a Facebook video every day of, making everybody feel happy about themselves. Remember, it's for them, not yourself, right? If you just want to start
Exactly.
doing that, because everybody has that opportunity
Yes,
now.
everybody's doing Instagram videos, Facebook Lives, everything like that. And a lot of people have a lot of great knowledge to offer. And so if you have a goal, like a something and
Stick to
little
what you know.
nugget of knowledge that you want to offer the world, it is very cool to be able to share that. And we have the avenues to do it. And if you can just kind of take yourself in your own, little idiosyncrasies out of the equation.
You heard it from the guru yourself. Take your notes and go make it happen. We'll be back in a minute on the third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Heath Oaks still to come.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to energyogre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about is this the real deal, and go do it right now. energyogre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
So this has to be probably my favorite. It's always my favorite segment. I love it when I come in and Zach and Matt are like, look at all the emails we have to go through. Like, I really enjoy hearing from people. Like it because it's this takes. It's not. I'm not going to act like this is a massive burden, but it does take a lot of time to do this show, right?
Yeah.
And so at times when it feels like, when you look at the numbers and it's kind of stagnant, right? It's just whatever. And it's like, is this really worth it? Does anybody care? And then
Is anybody getting any value out of it?
Yeah, and then you come in and Zach and Matt are like, man, look at these emails, and you hear about the people or the review that it's like, oh, I love this. It's like, okay, that's why this is worth it. And it really does. That matters. That is what this is for, and that's what matters the most. So secondshotcast@gmail.com. We truly do appreciate your emails, your thoughts.
And the reviews.
The reviews, got we've stayed at about the same number of views for like 5-6 months now. But yet we have new listeners all the time. So you're sitting here hearing it. We're asking for you to go do a review, but you constantly don't do it. Okay? Go do it. Go
Just
leave us
take,
a
like,
review,
5
please.
seconds.
5 seconds.
Real
Leave
quick.
us a review. We
Yeah.
need that's the only way it gets up for other people to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think people might not understand. Like, okay, do you just need like an ego check? No,
No.
it's just what it does is when there are more positive reviews, it puts it up toward the top of the searches so that
others.
more people can see it. And this podcast is just about helping people and spreading positivity.
You
and
don't
having
even
fun.
have to stop listening. You can do it on
Yes.
your phone.
Right
And
now.
if
You
you're
can be
if you're-
listening right now.
If you're not a wordsmith, you can leave a star rating. That works too. Yeah, like
Or
it's
just say,
okay.
we love the podcast.
Sure.
That's it. Who
Yep.
cares? Just rate it.
Love
Like,
the
it's
Tupac
simple.
socks.
yes,
the
Tupac.
Tupac socks.
No, but honestly, you've heard it 100 times, guys, because like literally the amount of people that are listening every week to the amount of reviews we have, that means the overwhelming majority of all of y'all have never left a review. You're killing me, Smalls.
But
Okay,
for those
off
of you
my
that
soapbox.
have,
But we do have 2 viewers that we do like, or listeners, because
So
you
this
got,
was a new iTunes review by Bird Cansing _1776. So thank you, Bird Cansing.
It's a good year.
You are appreciated very much by us. All the others, not so much. Burn.
yeah.
So I really enjoy listening to Heath, Zach, and guests take on the news stories of the day. Her headline she put on her review, which I really love because this makes me even happier, which is "No politics, just positive vibes."
I dig that.
Because that is a very important show that
Yeah.
we want to get across, is that we don't want to get into politics. We may have some headlines like that,
Yeah.
but we don't get into that headline, so that we're accomplishing that makes me happy. So headlines, then I really enjoy this Heath, Zach guests take on the news stories of the day and put their own spin on them. The Second Shot team does a great job at turning what might be an odd headline into a leadership or moral learning opportunity. There are lots of laughs to be had in each episode, and it's great for the entire family. My teenage son listens to this podcast as well, and he is better for it. He gets to hear a positive message from someone other than mom and dad. Thank you so much, and that's even cooler to me because I want to reach a young generation. I mean, I want to try to help anybody, but the young generation they're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of fake people out there today that that they have access to see more fake people, right? You go on Instagram and search hashtag success and stuff, and majority of those people that got some kind of rented Ferrari or rented Lamborghini with a picture in it saying, "Follow me, make this money with, don't even have to sell anything, work 5 hours a week and you'll be rich." Yeah.
This one weird trick.
Yeah, and they go return their rental Ferrari and go to their parents' basement and, rob people out of their money. Like it's sickening, and it's young people are very vulnerable to
Yeah.
being swayed in different ways, and so they have access to see so many fake people that I'm glad to hear and see that that she wants that this person wants their teenage son to listen to this, like that. You know what I mean? That makes me feel good that we're doing something that they go, look, we want our kids to listen to this. That's cool.
Right. Obviously, I appreciate what I've done to get where I am today, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't be on this show right now with the two of you.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
And we
I
love
do
you.
wish I'd had a show like this to listen to back in the day. That would have been nice. Yeah, sitting on the school bus. But it is what it is. I'm happy about where I'm at.
It just means a lot to know that parents want to put it in front of their kids, right?
Yeah.
That it's good enough. I mean, but I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect. We don't try to act like it. We have
No.
to bleep one of my asses or something every now and then that I do. But
Mark that.
We'll be bleeping that one as well.
Yeah.
But-
it's a family show.
but
It's
that's
great.
real world.
It's true.
A
Yeah.
little bit of there,
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, appreciate it. Next up, it's got kind of a little question to go into, and I have a feeling we may be on a little different. This may be interesting with
Whoa,
us too.
what?
But
Oh,
so
no.
Javier, good friend of the show.
Yes, friend
Okay.
of the show.
And first of all,
Love
I want you to
Javier.
understand, I do love Javier. And Javier, I always love your insight. I love your questions. You always are in with, and I will not get tired of them. I promise. Good day, Second Shot. Thanks for featuring the headline last week. That coach did find a job. No surprise to anyone. The coach from the University of Arlington, member that But he said a lot of things he loved from that episode. He loved John's story, and it really resonated with him because at 45, he left a 20-year career and changed careers at 45 to the insurance business, actually. So it really, really resonated with him. And he said he liked the piece of asking in the mirror if I'd fire myself a lot. That's where John said, when he changed was when he looked in the mirror and said, if I was writing my paycheck, would I fire myself? And he goes, I would at that time. That's when I changed. And he said that one takes stones to answer, but if you are true to yourself, then either you have a good answer or you need to make changes. So actually, many things about John's story resonated with me. But as usual, great episode. Question: how much time, if any, does Heath spend with Chamber of Commerce events and/or countless other worthy civic organizations? When I opened my agency, I really felt that was a critical piece, but I'm getting to believe not so much. In fact, if I had to really look at it, I'd say most of my high-powered agents don't spend any time with this at all. Thoughts? Faithfully yours, Javier.
Oh, interesting. So what do you say to him?
Look, here's what I'd say. Here's what people that I've never spent any time with that. I don't go to I've never done any of those. Let me rephrase it. Have I went to a chamber event time to time? Yes, every now and then I've gone to some of them, okay? I have. I'm not going to say they're bad. But here's what, in the insurance world, it's funny because everybody coming to insurance, a lot of people say, you got to go get involved in the NAHU Association, it's the National Association of Health Underwriters. You got to be involved in all this, and you got to be a member of the chamber, be at everything there. No, you don't. A lot of them want your money to keep funding their thing, and it's all about them, and you're going to be there with it. Here's what I believe. I believe being involved in anything you feel passionate about. Being a part of the chamber, because somebody says you have to be a part of the chamber to be successful, is full of we'll put a little cuckoo there, even though I didn't say it. But they get a lot of people wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
And these people end up spending so much time with it. Like I've seen these people go, they're in a 5-day work week, they're at 4 different things with the chamber. Look, you need to be cold calling. You need to be going out seeing business owners. You need to be doing your deal. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm going to say I see people get sucked into it so hard that they spend so much time with it that it takes away. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's something you're not going to be successful if you are. Okay, let me make that clear. But I'm going to tell you, you don't have to be a part of it.
Ooh, I don't know if I can pay the dues, and I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. Okay. But the other is, I do believe being part of, like, when there's a difference of saying something like a chamber to me versus saying worthy civic organizations and stuff, because if you are passionate about something, be a part of it. That will always pay dividends for you when it's something you care and love. A lot of people force themselves because people say you got to be a part of the chamber when they don't care about it, and they don't ever get anything from it. You see what I'm saying? Like, the people that go will say, "Oh, I'm gonna go work at this charity," even though I could care less about it because everybody says. Then it never does anything.
You actually bring down the charity when you do that.
Yes,
I don't believe in that at all.
So I believe worthy civic organizations that you personally are passionate about, go do. Now, you don't need to be involved in 5 or 6 because you can't be your full self with any of them. Pick something you're passionate about being involved in it. I don't believe you have to be involved in all those associations, all of those chambers and all that. You got to remember, they're all about getting your money as well. They're businesses as well.
Well, they're there to help people succeed in their, in their original mission.
Yeah, I guess. That's debatable. Up for debate at times.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of chambers out there.
There's a ton. I'm not saying all of them.
A lot of fish in the sea.
I'm not saying all of them are not.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. Your question was, do you have to do that to be successful? No. You need to spend your time with others, on everything there is with it. But if you're passionate about that chamber, it's going to bring you dividends if you're involved in it. I believe whatever you're passionate about will bring dividends. Don't be a part of the chamber because people say be a part of a chamber, but you could care less about the chamber because that attitude comes off and it's not going to pay you any dividends. But if you're passionate about the chamber and you're passionate about what they can do with business owners and you're involved in it, people will feel that vibe and that will attract to you. So that's what I'm saying more so. It's not that I hate them or hate any of those organizations. I just go, don't force yourself in something you don't have a passion about.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
What are your thoughts on it?
So that's interesting. You thought I was going to differ with you on this one a little bit. I believe more so in like professional development type thing. A conference, something like that is really important to me to do every year if I can, just because it's like, we go to school for all these years and then we enter the workforce and then we never, unless you're forced to because of a license or a certification, you don't ever get re-educated in a lot of professions. Some, like I said, you have to in order to, maintain your license. But if you don't, it can just get really stale.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the new people coming out of school are more up to speed than you are, and you've been in the business for 20 years. So I think that professional development is something, even if at first it does not sound fun to you, even if at first you're not passionate about it, I say make yourself go. If if that particular one isn't good, you try another one. That
Professional
sort of thing.
development's different than being a part of an organization for networking.
Yeah, well, see, and I'm terrible at networking. I'm actually very shy at events like that. I run to the restroom. I text Heath. I struggle in that type of environment. And I did force myself to go for years. And it didn't get me anywhere because I didn't talk to anybody because I felt nervous and I just didn't know my place. And I just wasn't sure, what do you say at these things? And do I give someone a business card? Like, what do...
Oh, gosh, you sound like me.
I'm very
Same
awkward
way.
at these things. I never, unless...
But let me tell you this. Would they ever guess this? You would never guess this, but I'm the exact same way. You know, am I not?
Yeah.
I do not. Everybody would think I'm somebody that would be like my spot, right? Like I would be that, that I'm not, I hate it. I close up. I want to go to the bathroom, act like I'm on the phone, do whatever.
Yeah.
So it's everybody does. I just make myself do it because I want to be around people, and I know I need to be, so I'll force myself to be more open in those situations.
Yeah.
Professional development is key. You must always be developing professionally. But you don't, you
have to be a part of all these groups that you pay into and stuff. I do think it's important to, especially I've moved a lot for work. I've moved every 3 years for the last 15 years. And so getting into a group of other journalists, for example, was always really helpful for me. Didn't necessarily serve on the board, but I was like, okay, hey, now I can know some other men and women in my field and, connect with them and share ideas with like-minded people, that sort of thing. But I wouldn't say that it's a must. Professional development, however, a conference or a weekend thing is a must. And maybe I'm only saying no to the networking things because I'm so awkward at them.
No, and they're what lends your personality, you need to get into. Sometimes, though, professional development is making yourself go to them to develop in that area of development. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's more so of saying, I don't believe you won't be successful if you're not a part of these stuff, okay? So, but develop yourself personally and really focus on that one. And I think you have one more little...
Yes, I was just going to say, I actually have gotten quite a few little Instagram messages from people who have been listening to your podcast. I do behind-the-scenes sort of updates when the podcasts come out. So we got one, I won't say her name because she doesn't know that I'm going to read this.
Oh.
But anyway, she was saying, sorry, that I had left my prior job, but like we talked about in the last podcast, I'm doing some freelancing at a show called Morning Dose. So giving her a shout out for recognizing that, because she said, I want to know what you're doing and where you're going. I'm a fan and want to watch you grow with B, our little girl, Brighton, and succeed. And then she says, I'm a new subscriber to your husband's podcast. Looking forward to what's in store, and talks about how she enjoys it and wishes us the best of luck. So I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
Just each day new people are listening to this, and it's cool because it's a free resource and hopefully something positive. I like to do it either first thing in the morning, kind of get the day started right, or in the evening before I go to bed because I think it's something peaceful and
You think this voice is peaceful?
Well, yes.
Hey, hun, tell them about your new show, where they can find you at and all that.
Okay, so the show's called Morning Dose. It airs in a bunch of different cities.
Miami,
all the info,
Houston, Philly, Washington. You can go
Portland, Quad Cities. Go to Jenny Anchondo TV on Twitter, Jenny Anchondo on Facebook and Instagram.
Zach?
Real quick, shout out again to Javier for leaving a message.
Yes.
If you want to know more about John and whether or not you should fire yourself, tune into episode 61 of Second Shot. You can find me at Twitter on Twitter at AppleZacintosh. That's me, yes.
I fully expect to see the number of your views increase when you know you've been sitting there listening to it and you know you're lying to me every time you listen and you don't do it. Remember what I'm saying? Okay? I love y'all, as usual. Ed Heath Oaks, Ed Ignorance on Fire. See you next time.
RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.